Hey, or welcome in after. Just a short video update to keep you abreast of what's been happening in Europe. Well, not all of Europe, just the football bit. And not all of that, just the 3 ties that feature our cherished Faroese sides. Well, let's start with the good times. After 14 minutes of Gent vs Víkingur in the Conference League, Jørgen Nielsen had put Víkingur Gøta 1-0 up, and they were a mere 3 hours of game time away from a famous win. But the Belgians clearly don't like underdog stories, and they retaliated to win the first leg 4-1. This came one day after Klaksvík had also fallen to a 4-1 first leg defeat to Swedish juggernaut Malmö. The Faroese champs found themselves 3-0 down at half-time before Arne Frederiksberg scored in the Champions League again to bring it back to 3-1. But Danish midfielder Søren Rijks wasn't going to let any Faroese joy seep through, and so made it 4-1. It was similarly a disappointing away day for HB in Croatia, who found themselves 2-0 down to Hadjuk Split after half an hour. Filip Juranovic, 3 appearances for Sheffield United, put them ahead, but at least they kept it to 2-0 as the Croatians were unable to add to their advantage, so there was something to play for in leg 2. It was always going to be a big ask for any of these teams to pull back 2 and 3 goal deficits against big opponents. Klaksvík were first to have a go, and while unfortunately they couldn't overturn the deficit, they gave their fans a game to remember as they beat Malmö 3-2 on the night. Arne Frederiksberg scored another 2 goals and assisted the opener, as Alex Berntsen scored his first goal for the club. It was 2-2 going into the last minute, and the comeback was never really on, but Arne got his 10th Champions League goal in 2 seasons in the 95th minute to secure an impressive win on the night, if not quite enough to take them through. HB earned a creditable 0-0 draw where they started brightly against Hadjuk Split but couldn't break through, meaning they exit to a 2-0 defeat. And Víkingur, who technically didn't have home advantage because they were playing in Klaksvík, went down 3-0 to Gent, taking the aggregate score to 7-1 to the Belgians. The last goal of the tie was scored by last season's MK Dons Young Player of the Year, Max Dean. So for HB and Víkingur, the focus moves back to the domestic leagues, and there's no more air miles on Atlantic Airways for them. For Klaksvík, they drop into the Europa League, where they are up against another team that got bumped out of the Champions League. Bosnian side Borac Banja Luka came close to beating Greek side PAOK in Greece, losing 3-2 in the first leg, but couldn't make home advantage count, going down 4-2 on aggregate. If these guys sound familiar to you, then thank you for your long-term service to Faroeball. I've mentioned these guys before, back in 2022, when they came to Tórshavn and lost to B36 on penalties after squandering a 2-0 lead from the first leg. Hopefully the Bosnians won't exact their revenge and knock Klaksvík out, but if they do, it still won't be the end of the road for Klaksvík, as defeat will drop them into the Conference League playoff round, where they will play one of these 10 teams. But a win over Banja Luka will put Klaksvík in the Europa League playoff. We'll know what's what in a couple of weeks. Until then, thanks for watching, have a great summer, and see you next time.